Renueva tu estilo de otoño en JCPenney. Descubre grandes ofertas en modelos versátiles que puedes combinar con piezas tuyas, como un blazer y pantalón de pierna ancha Worthington con tu blusa favorita, o un suavecito suéter St. John's Bay con tu camiseta preferida. Y combina una chaqueta Stafford con uno de los clásicos en tu closet. Con un par de piezas versátiles puedes crear múltiples looks únicos y extraordinarios. Eleva tu estilo de otoño y ahorra. JCPenney. Vale la pena.
Who likes tomatoes anyway? I'm Harriet Langley-Swindon, and this is Non-Censored. Hello, and welcome to Non-Censored, the podcast that wraps up all the best bits from my very real daily radio show. I'm, of course, Harriet Langley-Swindon, and I'm joined, as ever, by my producer, Martin. Well, Martin, what a show this week, eh?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We've had Eshaan on to talk about Shamima Begum. We had a publisher on to explain the edits being made to Roald Dahl. And we had SNP leadership candidate Kate Forbes in to talk about her campaign.
As ever, though, there was so much we couldn't fit in. For example, we had an interview with Suella Braverman, but there was quite a lot of protests about that.
Yes, bottles were thrown, placards were made. It all got quite ugly, really.
Yes, although in her defence, you did antagonise her.
We also had several experts on how Brexit has affected British supply chains lined up to come on the show, but none of them turned up.
So let's start with our interview with SNP's Kate Forbes. Kate Forbes, you have very much been the woman of the week, really, haven't you? You're everywhere, and we're hearing about you. Basically, for listeners who don't know, but our listeners, I mean, they really know what's what, don't they, Martin?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For listeners at home, you are wanting to take Nicola Sturgeon's crown of the very wokey party of the SNP. Yet, it seems you have some rather unfashionable views, shall we say, in the wokey circles. Would you say that's fair?
Yes. I mean, I think that's quite a good way of putting it. It's unfashionable. It's unfashionable, but there's nothing wrong with being, of a different fashion. Do you know what? I wouldn't wear a batwing jumper, but I totally reserve the right to defend people who would. So should we just leave it as that?
Right.
That's nice. So wait, so I'm just going to pick that apart. So you would defend the right of someone to wear a batwing jumper?
Yes, like legally, let's say. But because, morally, I find it off.
Yes,
but that's
because
just
Kate,
me. It's just me.
But Kate, if we sort of transpose that analogy to, say, gay marriage, I mean, you've said that you would vote against that. So that's not really sort of wanting the right for people to do what they want.
Well, I would have done, but I didn't. And now it's the law. So that's fine, isn't it? I'm very, very keen on the law. I'm very keen on my party. I'm passionate about it. Nothing is more important to me than my work and than the party, except for my religious views, which are also everything to me. So both of them are everything to me, and that is fine.
Well, that's lovely. And listen, I'm also a woman of faith, but a more, I'm a more lapsadaisical woman of faith, really.
Right. What I would say is that it's very interesting you should say that. You are still going to hell. But what I will say to you is, so is almost everybody.
Okay, right.
And that's how I square that.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Kate,
I'm Kate. God, I'm sick of this. I'm not Nicola.
Sorry, it's just usually that's who I'm used to dealing with.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're right, you're clearly not Nicola. You're very different.
Yes.
What's
your point?
Kate, let's look in depth at some of these views. So you believe that marriage is between a man and a woman?
Well, yes. I mean, I am married to a man, so you can't say that doesn't exist, can you?
No, you can't say that doesn't exist. And that sex should be between a man and a woman.
Yes, between a married man and a woman. That's just my view of my life. I understand that other people, as I say, are going to hell. And that's fine.
Kate,
right,
Hello, producer Martin here.
Hello.
I do feel I need to jump in here. I have a little question for you. Do you have a dog? Are you a dog owner?
Yes, I do have a wire-haired terrier called Friendly.
Oh, lovely. That sounds so nice. Well, I mean, I'm sure you'll understand that you go down to the dog park, the play area, and you see dogs doing these things. And I think just a simple visit to any dog park will tell you that, I mean, sex isn't just between a man and a woman. Even in the dog world, there's really any, and forgive my saying this, but any hole's a goal. I've also seen dog weddings at the dog park. I don't know if this is just...
now, I would query that. Where is your dog park? I'm pretty sure these aren't legal marriages.
They seemed pretty legal to me. There was a bow tie on one of the dogs. The other one had a veil. It seemed pretty official.
You think that's what makes something
Sorry,
legal?
just to specify, Martin, these were dogs marrying other dogs, not dogs marrying humans.
Yeah,
I think that is illegal. There
was a dog marrying a dog. They even dressed up a dog in a dog collar, which I thought was quite a nice little touch there.
That's very sweet.
Right. I mean, I'm going to have to take some details here because that dog was impersonating a member of the clergy, and as far as I'm aware, that is illegal.
And you'd be against this, would you? You'd be looking to shut down any of these kind of operations going on if you were in power?
If I was in power, I mean, who's to say what my first call would be? But yes, dog weddings would certainly be up there. Yes, I do believe they are offensive.
But Kate, I don't really want to talk about dogs, and I'm sorry Producer Martin took us down there.
No.
What I want to talk about is sex. I mean, sex is everywhere, isn't it? It's a natural human right. And surely a lot of the people you're talking to and you're wanting to lead, quote unquote, like a healthy sex life. And a lot of that sex is out of marriage. And some of that sex is with people of the same sex.
I'd like to pick up on a word that you said there, which was a healthy sex life.
Yes.
Yes, you used that word. You also said sex was everywhere, which sounds disgusting. But healthy, to me, is between a married man and a married woman. And they are married, crucially, to each other. And that is the only form of healthy sex you can have. So you feel free to have unhealthy sex with whoever you like within the bounds of the law. Fine. I just don't want to hear about it.
Nicola, sorry, can I just say... So
I'm not Nicola.
If they're married...
I'm going to leave.
Seriously. Sorry, Kate, sorry, so sorry. That is just a simple mistake there from Harriet. I'm sure it won't happen again.
Right.
I don't know why it keeps happening, Nicola, Kate. But Kate, can I just say, so you're saying in the realms of marriage. So what if you've got a married couple and they have a healthy sex life,
a man and a woman,
includes another married couple?
Oh. I mean, this seems to be your kind of fetish here. That you want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. Do you understand?
I think that people want to know. And some people listening to this, their husband will have a couple across the road who they engage in sexual activity with on Tuesdays after some wine and cheese,
Will and Barbara?
Yes. Well, yes. Or hypothetically, Will and Barbara. Yeah.
Right. Well, what I would say to that is... that's just one of the many reasons you're going to hell. But do feel free to continue in your job as a political journalist. That's not illegal.
Nicola, what about...
Sorry, Kate. So I think we're having a little trouble on the line there. It's just every time...
I feel like I'm being trolled now,
No,
to be honest.
Honestly, please.
Kate, I do apologise. I feel terrible. I don't want it to detract from my questions, which are very important. And the question I want to ask you is Kate, if you are, you're married, you're in a healthy married relationship.
It's very healthy, thank you. We've had 7 or 8 children.
Wonderful, wonderful. What if hypothetically someone is in a healthy marriage and you like dressing up as each other? And so the woman dresses up as her husband, John, anything. and, perhaps wears a sort of, a strap on, and John, the husband, pretends to be the wife.
Oh no, that's completely fine.
That's completely fine. Brilliant. Okay. Wonderful. It's good. It's good for our listeners to understand really what your views are.
Kate, I'm going to just try and move things slightly away from sex, because I'm aware that some of our listeners are of a slightly sensitive nature and they might be a little frazzled by the talk so far. Just a few other elements of your religious beliefs.
Yes.
Maybe you could just give me a sort of a quick take on each one of these, whether maybe it's a yes or no. Fish Friday. You fan of fish on a Friday?
I mean, I do like it.
Oh,
yes,
Friday fish.
I wouldn't enshrine it in law, even if I did get in. But yes.
Okay. How about this? Pancakes. Do you
Pancakes
think more than once a year? Is that something you'd be looking to do?
Oh no, that would be blasphemous. Pancakes once a year, Show Tuesday.
Okay, what about...
And that would be... I would like to make that a legal requirement for people
right,
to
so you
have.
would enforce these rules if you became in charge?
If I was lucky enough to lead my party and my country, yes, pancakes with Jif lemon would be enshrined in law. That would be the first thing after dog weddings that I would attend to. No, hang on. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
Well,
can you
it
scratch
sounds
that?
like a
Can
vote
you scratch
winner.
that?
Oh, okay, all right. I mean, I'll see what I can do.
Kate, I don't want to alarm you here, but you had several endorsements at the beginning of this interview, and they've now gone down quite considerably. I think it might have been what you said about married couples having sex with other married couples.
I just had no idea that so many people were ungodly.
We're actually pretty much an island of them. Yeah, that's one of the defining features as the British, I think.
It's just, do you know what? It's difficult for me because a lot of this stuff is just stuff that goes on in my head and I shouldn't have to talk about it. I believe certain things. I believe things about dragons, for example. I don't want to talk about it because it's not a policy. Do you know what I mean?
What? I mean,
it would be nice to hear your opinions on dragons.
You should have mentioned that.
What?
No, I'm not going to talk about dragons.
What? I mean, go on.
You could argue it's
Can I talk about
interest.
the NHS? I don't think it is in the interest of the people. They've all got their own opinions. You've got your opinion. I'm sure you're thinking terrible things right now.
I don't think any terrible things.
Never come out as pro or anti-dragon personally, but
Well, careful what you say here, Martin, because I will report you.
Okay, well, maybe it's best if we just wrap that up then, I think.
Well, Nicola, Kate, this has been really illuminating.
Yes, it's been very distressing. Thank you.
Now, as you'll have heard, the wokies are trying to ruin Roald Dahl's work by changing it. You know what I'd like to do, Producer Martin? I'd like to get these people and protest to within the fullest extent of the law. And go, do you like that? Do you like that? How do you feel about that? That's what I'd like to do until they cried. What book are you reading to your kids at the moment, Martin?
Well, we're reading quite a lovely book, actually. It's called Julian is a Mermaid, and it's about a little boy who just wants to be a mermaid.
That sounds disgusting. If you're going to read your kids a story about a mermaid, it should be how little girls should give up absolutely everything for a man who will leave them for someone more like him in the end. Anyway, publisher Jasper Fenton spoke to us about the controversies. Well, I'm delighted to say we have Jasper Fenton on the show, publisher from Vulture and Crow Books. Hello, Jasper.
Hi, Harriet. Thanks so much for having me on the show. I'm really glad to be able to be here just to clear a few things up. I know that the media's gone mad with things at the moment. Yes. So it's really great to be able to just talk through our process about what we're doing at the moment.
That would be really helpful. I mean, as many people know, there's been a lot of hullabaloo, and this is because Puffin has been criticised in recent days after hiring sensitivity readers to go over Roald Dahl's text to make sure the books can continue to be enjoyed by all today. I mean, It sounds crazy. It sounds mad.
Well, essentially, it's about making it accessible for future generations in order that everybody can experience Roald Dahl's work. So we don't want to be using particular buzzwords or issues that people find uncomfortable. So at the moment, it's words like fat, but we're going to continue this until eventually we're hoping that we'll have lost all adjectives and all adverbs within the Roald Dahl canon. This could
Sorry,
provide
Jasper,
some...
can I just pick you up there? So all adjectives.
Ideally, it will make things much easier. Make things much easier for parents to explain to their children how the stories are going if we take all of them out. And some things, it will alter the story in somewhat. For example, James and the Peach will be a relatively short book now. It'll just be a 2-pager about a boy who has a peach. Obviously, there won't be the story about him going inside and meeting all of the bugs because the peach isn't going to be big. We won't be able to say that. So it'll just be about a boy that has a peach.
Jasper, hello, producer Martin here. Thanks for coming on the show. I do have a question about this. I mean, I'm all for the sensitivity. I've got to say, adjectives, losing them all, it's got to provide a tricky situation. I mean, if we're to look at just one of Roald Dahl's books, the Big Friendly Giant, of course, big, that's an adjective, friendly, adjective, and also giant.
Giant does, yeah.
Can be used as an adjective. So technically, that would just be the. Or yeah, I mean, and that's a band. I mean, you can see where it's heading. Perhaps these stories might not be quite as enjoyable as they were the first time around.
It's a case of about what's accessible to a wider audience, to as many people as possible can enjoy these books now without fear of coming up against something which may be offensive to them. Now, Roald Dahl himself was always doing his own edits, and actually, I've got here a first edition copy of the Twits.
Oh, wow!
That's very exciting.
So this was after this was originally published. They did decide to edit it, so this isn't anything new that we're doing. Let me just read you through, if you want to hear the first chapter.
Jasper, yes, of course.
Sure.
Well, I like to say this is a non-censored exclusive.
I'll put
this was
some,
only recently found.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, put some jingles on it, Martin. And Martin, tell all your friends at the paper. You don't have any friends at the paper.
Exclusive.
Tweet about it, Martin. Exclusive.
Okay, well, here I go.
Okay.
Chapter 1, Meet Mr. and Mrs. Twit. This is Mr. Twit. What a stupid man. Look at his massive beard. I can't believe how it makes him look. He looks like just like someone from another country. Oh, and here comes Mrs. Twit. I bet she gobbles all day.
Right,
Women
okay.
Like that. Chapter 2, Jewish people.
Thank you for that, Jasper. That's very, very kind of you. Obviously, writing from a different time. And demonstrating the importance of
So there were
edits.
some changes made after that was originally put up because readers found that it was quite offensive. And actually looking at it now, I would say that is quite an offensive thing. But I understand that if you wanted to keep the purity of it, then we will allow additions. This is something that we're exploring doing, that we can look to publish editions that are for that particular market. So we're looking at releasing the edited books that we've been talking about now, but down the line in further years, we'll be able to, and I don't know if this is something, I know that you're worried about it, but maybe this is something that you'd like to read, Harriet.
Is this something that could happen? So you have the book for all the wokies with all the adjectives taken out, but also for us who aren't afraid of history and a little sort of controversial opinion.
Yeah, and women
people
gobbling
saying what they
all day.
feel. We can have the unadulterated Dahl. So
there's a kind of maybe world where perhaps you'd have pride and even more prejudice, with additional now with 20% added. Prejudice is just a
they'd just be the
about
original ones,
right?
What we're keen to do within all of this is to keep Roald Dahl's legacy about teaching people that older women are either evil or irrelevant, and they should be killed in gruesome ways.
Yes.
So
as long as that's the core message of Roald Dahl's work is coming through, then I feel like we should be comfortable in exploring how we can share that message.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a view that shouldn't be dismissed, in my opinion, just because it's suddenly got unpopular. Yeah.
And this will expand into, because we had this deal with Netflix, this will expand into the Dahl universe that we're looking to create. So
that's very
we'll be able
exciting.
to take all of the Dahl characters and make a sort of Avengers-style movie.
Wow.
Where, for example, Matilda, played by Jennifer Lawrence, enlists a team of fantastic Mr. Fox, who's voiced by Idris Elba, Charlie from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Timothy Chalamet, the BFG, still David Jason. And they will come together to defeat the enormous crocodile and Miss Trunchbull, who are voiced by Judi Dench and Maggie Smith.
Wow. This is wonderful.
I mean, this is very exciting stuff.
This is what we're opening this world up to. And so you need to understand that the edits that we're making are part of this process. And we believe in balance here at Vulture and Crow, because on the one hand, we're making the edit Roald Dahl's work, but on the other hand, we're still publishing David Walliams.
That's really good.
So there is balance.
I hadn't thought of it like that. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Because I'm not going to lie to you, Jasper, I was very upset about this news about Roald Dahl being tampered with. But I hadn't taken into account, of course, that it's a grey area, isn't it? And as you say, the fact that David Walliams is still allowed to flourish shows that we are, the wokies haven't destroyed literature yet. Yeah. Oh, absolutely wonderful. Wonderful.
I do have a question for you, Jasper. Obviously, it does start a precedent dealing with someone like Roald Dahl and tampering with the things that he did write down. Do you think this might spread, say, first of all, onto Sophie Dahl? Maybe it might affect some of the recipes that she wrote down in her cookbooks, and then spread beyond the Dahl family into other authors?
I mean, it's something that we could speak to Sophie about. I guess in terms of a recipe, it may cause a problem if we're taking out adjectives, whether you were using a sweet potato or a potato will change the flavour of it.
Yeah.
But other authors we're definitely open to doing. Is there anyone particular that you've got your eye on that you'd like to see us explore the editing with?
Well,
Producer Martin, you know about children's books more than I do. You read it to your little thingies, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anything, I just really think we could do with mixing up what that caterpillar's been eating, because that's not setting a good. It's not setting a good example, is it? I mean, how many cakes, an ice cream, and a leaf as well? It's just, I'm sorry, but he literally takes the biscuit, and that. I just don't think he's a good role model for children, but that's just me,
Martin, I don't know. I feel suddenly you're kind of pretending that you're all sort of, you take care on what you read them, but I don't think that's true at all, is it? I bet you read your children Harry Potter, don't you? And you probably lie about it.
No, there is. There's an untitled wizard book that I have read. But it's I'm trying to stay away from brand names. We're encouraging just it's like a blind sort of taste testing, but that's not the point. Anyway,
I'm sorry, we wouldn't say that the taste test is blind, and we don't want to draw attention to the disability of a taste test. So
it would just be a test.
Okay, well, Jasper, thank you for coming on the show.
Not at all.
I'm sure you've given our listeners a lot to think about. And, I hope you can strive to keep the balance. That's all I'd say.
Well, I'm really glad to have slightly changed your mind on it. And I feel that that you've been able to see it from a different point of view. So thank you for understanding that.
Well, I liked what you were talking about, it being sort of, the inclusivity of including people who want to be exclusive. I think that's very nice.
Next time on a very spooky fine dining podcast, the season 1 finale, TGI Fridays the 13th. Oh, you betcha, pineapple's gonna hit the fan as Michael's son Juicy, or in this episode, Juice's son Voorhees, goes on a murderous rampage and no one is safe. It gets real spooky, it gets real bloody, and not everyone's gonna make it to the end of the episode. Who will live? Who will die? Listen to Fine Dining, the search for the most mediocre restaurant in America, break down a trip to TGI Fridays based on the atmosphere, the service, and the food, and try not to be scared to death. Hear the thrilling finale of Fine Dining, Wednesday, October 25th, wherever you get your podcasts.
And of course, we had Eshaan on the show, didn't we, Martin?
Absolutely, Eshaan Akbar, always with a hot and spicy take, whether you like it or not.
Yes, and I don't think we did like it this week, did we?
Well, I mean, he's a controversial man. We knew what to expect every time he comes on here. I just hear him out. That's all I ask of you.
Controversial man on a controversial topic. Let's hear Eshaan Akbar talk about Shamima Begum. Eshaan Akbar, great to have you back this week.
Harriet, as always, a pleasure to be back speaking to you once again.
Oh, thank you. An absolute charmer as always. Now, please tell me, what is your hot and spicy takeaway of the week?
Well, my hot and spicy takeaway of this week is you may have heard that former British person, Shamima Begum, was currently going through a case to have her British citizenship reinstated, and she lost the case. Yeah, her bid to regain her citizenship has been rejected. And of course, this has been quite a divisive issue on social media. Some people saying that, well, she was born here and she therefore is British. Where other people are saying, well, no, she went off at the age of 15 on this little jolly to join ISIS. Yeah.
Well, are we calling it a jolly? That seems a little, I don't know.
Well, she seemed very jolly about it at the time.
She was very jolly about it, Martin.
My hot and spicy takeaway is this. You know what? I think they're right.
Yes.
If you have a connection to another country and you have the audacity to rescind your relationship to this Great Britain, United Kingdom,
yes,
you should have your citizenship revoked.
100% agree with you, 100%. And as you say, 15, you know what you're doing. I know a girl at 15 who she dyed her hair in her fringe. It looked ridiculous. We've never let her forget it.
Yeah.
You know, we know what we're doing at 15.
Diana as well. I mean, that is crazy. Old Diana with the dyed hair. Oh, so sorry.
Stop it. I don't usually like hearing jokes about Diana, Princess of Our Hearts, but that is very good.
Yes, Producer Martin.
Well, no, I was just going to say that really I don't think we can judge people based on what they do at 15. I mean, I was quite into runes and tarot.
What?
At the age of 15, I don't think if someone was telling me that I had to go into life as a kind of fortune teller, I'm not sure my wife Jane would really go for it. I'm not sure the kids would be too on board with it either. Look, all I'm saying is that
yourself, Producer Martin.
We're all fallible. I also used to play a bit of rugby. I wasn't very good, but I mean, that if someone had made me become a professional rugby player, that would be even worse than becoming a palm reader, I think.
Yes, but listen, one of those things, are you joining a terrorist organisation, for goodness sake?
Thank you.
When I was 15, I never even dreamed of joining a terrorist organisation.
I was in the Cubs.
Never entered I was in the Boy Scouts.
Ah, the rivals. Did you guys get a neckerchief? Did you have a neckerchief as well?
Yes, the neckerchief.
All right, should we stay on topic here? So I don't want to hear any more about Martin's life when he was 15.
Right.
I think that this sets the right precedent. If you have more vested interests and a relationship with another country, your British citizenship should always be under question, because being British is a privilege.
Yes, it is.
Therefore, I propose that the following people also have their British citizenship questioned, if not revoked.
Brilliant.
Boris de Pfeffel Johnson. He earns a lot of money in America. He seems to earn more money there than he does here, following his premiership. And given that he's got Turkish ancestry, that's 2 countries we could send him to.
What?
Wow.
We should also look at Evgeny.
Can we stop here? You're suggesting that we should deport our former Prime Minister, who, can I remind you, got Brexit done?
Yes, but Boris Johnson was born in America, earns more money there, and has Turkish ancestry, and as we've seen over the last few years, has broken very many laws.
Oh, sorry, Eshaan, I was born in the Cayman Islands. Are you suggesting that I should go and live there? Come on.
Well, you were born in the Cayman Islands for tax purposes.
Yes, that's correct.
But you were born in the UK. You popped out on British land.
Thank you. Yeah, that's true.
Whereas Boris was popped out on American, former British land. Right?
I don't feel comfortable talking about where people are popped out. I mean, I'm not sure this is the popping is what should be leading here. I mean, why can't people just travel freely?
Number 2, Yevgeny Lebedev.
Oh, no.
Russian?
No. No, he's very misunderstood. He got a lot of bad press, and I thought it was very unfair because if you know him, he is such a riot. He really is. I mean, he is so much fun and such a generous host.
Okay, fine. You don't like Lebedev. How about this? Mo Farah.
Oh, yes. Okay, why?
He himself said that he was trafficked.
Yes.
We should take away those gold medals.
Yeah.
Not British.
Yeah.
And send him to...
I mean, listen, Eshaan, you know I have a lot of respect for your hot and spicy takes. I don't always agree with them, but, yes. I think it's in the spirit of us sharing these different opinions. But I really just feel like maybe there's too many barriers, Why don't we just let people come and go as they wish, like wind blowing between our great isle,
like I do at your house?
No, not like that actually at all. Listen, I was ready to. No, I was. We don't need any more help with the house. Okay, so it was very kind of you to offer to come round and help fix the boiler and to amend the fence, but that's not necessary anymore. I was talking more specifically about the way that we deal with people from other nation states. I mean, surely there's enough to go around.
Yeah, but Shamima Begum isn't from another nation state. She's from Britain. That's where she was born.
Where are we going?
Was she?
I mean, she wasn't she?
Well, yes, but Bethnal Green.
Bethnal Green, of course, famously the Bangladesh of London.
Yeah.
As it's known. That's what everybody calls it. And, if you're born in an area called the ex-country of, really, you have less claim to stay here. So there's Bethnal Green, the Bangladesh of London, Bradford, the Pakistan of England.
Yes.
Yeah. And Kent, the shithole of England.
Come on now.
No. Kent is the Garden of England.
Oh, I got those two confused.
Yes. Unfortunately, it's the Garden of England with quite a bit of shit in it.
Yes, quite.
But that's because I don't want to get into details, but that's because the Europeans have been, trying to destroy Brexit.
Yes, Brexit.
Yeah. Brexit. Yeah.
I mean, I think we can do better than this language. Come on now. And also, it is. I mean, if we're going down that road, it is quite useful in growing things in the gardens. So it's it's not altogether a bad thing.
I just wanted to sort of touch on, because you mentioned Mo Farah.
Yes.
Now, obviously, Mo Farah, wonderful man, done lots of achievements for this country.
What's his real name?
Oh, what's his real name?
His real name is Hussein Abdi Karim.
Wow. I mean, that was quite the delivery. That was quite...
Sir Hussein Abdi Karim.
Well, yes, a little bit of respect. He is a sir. He's taken a vow with the other
Why
knights.
is he not using his real name?
Well, quite. Now, this is the thing. At least Shamima has the decency to use her real name. Mm-hmm. And she was born here.
Well,
so Hussein Abdi Khan, not born here, came here illegally, won gold for Britain, world record-setting marathon runner. And let's be honest, if there's anyone can run back to where they came from.
Oh, I don't know if you... I mean, even if you were sending him away, you shouldn't make him run there. That'd be humiliating. I mean, he's got...
Well, I thought you'd like that, Martin, because you're all about, the environment.
Well,
and that
yeah,
would
but
save air miles.
Listen, hasn't Sir Mo run far enough? I mean, just let him have a sit down, surely.
I think that's true.
No.
Fundamentally, the key thing here is about citizenship. And I like the precedent that's been set, that your citizenship means nothing.
Well, yes, but it doesn't mean that. I preferred what you were saying about it being a privilege, isn't it? It is a privilege. And it's a privilege we all have. But, some privileges are more privileged than others,
Yes, and you have to earn that privilege. Just being born somewhere doesn't mean that you are from that place.
No, I mean, it depends.
I think that is
who's born here.
That is quite an interesting thought. That just because you're born somewhere doesn't mean that you're from that place. That in a way we're all just people, and we're all just existing, and we shouldn't judge one another based on an idea of what we think about a particular country, about a flag, about the colour of our skin.
You born stable, you wouldn't be a horse, would you?
Well, I was born in Berkhamsted, so I don't know what that...
Yes, but amongst other people. But if you were born in a stable, you wouldn't be a horse.
That's an analogy I have not heard before. That is great.
Cats, since wasn't Jesus born in a stable? Was he?
He was born in a manger, wasn't he?
Jesus was born in England, in Kent.
Yes.
Oh.
With a Mexican name.
That's it for the week, folks. Do the subscribing, do the liking and reviewing, do tell people about the show, and do send us your questions to noncensoredpodcast@gmail.com. With thanks to Rosie Holt, Brendan Murphy, Eshaan Akbar, Margaret Caborn-Smith, Oliver Izod and Ed Morrish. I'm Harriet Langley-Swindon, and we'll be back next week for more Non-Censored.